Hi, my name is Stephanie Anderson, and I am a foodie for Jesus. So, life has been busy. In fact, it's been a few days, probably more time has passed since my last video about this get out of the ditch, the food ditch journey that I'm on. And life has been busy and good busy in so many ways. Um, in fact, feel so blessed with activities with my family. We have spring break coming up, work, which is just very exciting and engaging as well. And just, it's just been a lot of it, a lot of busyness. And in this, I've noticed a bit of an idol transformation. So let me explain that a little bit. So I have continued to refrain from sugar, from Netflix, from getting on the scale, from flour. And it, in so ways, has been incredibly freeing. And so I feel like those idols have been managed, have been, and again, it's that not just giving them up, but wanting to replace that with time with the Lord. And in the spirit of Lenten season as well, of that giving something up that pales into the comparison significantly, is not even comparable to the sacrifice that Christ made for us so that we can have forgiveness of sins and eternal life. And so that reminder is there. And anytime I do start to get in my head about it, I remind myself of that, of the reason for it. But I do have a bit of a confession around that as well. And when I say idol transformation, is that there are still areas that I struggle with related to food. And there are some parts of the commitment that I had in mind. I can't remember if I verbalized them in one of my earlier videos or not, but I really wanted to like also have structure, more structure in my eating and more planning and more meal prep. And while there has been some of that in the busyness of life, I've fallen into habits of eating non-sugar, non-flour, foods that also have kind of started to fill some of that void. And maybe even some of them might be considered these yellow foods, right? Dried fruit being one of them. Things are busy. I'll just go grab, I'll just grab. Maybe I didn't prepare my lunch the night before. I'll just grab some dried fruit, some nuts, some things that not I haven't really done as much with nuts, but um so that's when I say there's been a bit of the idle transformation is there's still I'm still filling that void in some cases, and particularly I want to mention this related to busyness because this busyness also means my time with the Lord being crunched or probably in more cases distracted, where I might be instead of having really more focused attention, I might be multitasking in my mind or listening to something, but being in a different place mentally than really, really truly following it and processing it and contemplating it. So I say this and just wanting to be transparent with the journey. And I think that that can be common where we find substitutes. I mean, this is even part of some of the rules in economics, how the like of substitutions, right? We start to find substitutions, and I think that that can be the case with cravings and with addictive tendencies as well, where maybe this big, massive golden calf of sorts, which is kind of sugar and flour, has been is now shrunken down to it's still a golden calf though, but nonetheless an idol. It's maybe feels a little bit more manageable, and I definitely have experienced some sanity, but there's still more opportunity there. So what's the solution? Is focusing on the Lord, right? Because if we're focused on where we want to go, where we want to, the direction we want to head, right? That relationship with the Lord and drawing into that, the other things don't get any attention. But sometimes in that in that space where I'm not spending that time with the Lord, even when I've given up things. And that's really the point of it, is that what am I allowing to fill in the gaps, right? And so that's where this learning is. So I still feel amazing, amazing, amazing freedom. And I definitely feel grace, definitely feel the grace of the Lord through this process. But that there's still things where my flesh, my human tendencies, my sinful tendencies, my fleshly desires come into play. So I hope you found some encouragement in my transparency and my sharing with you. And just, again, I always just want to point people back to the Lord. Thank you so much for joining. I look forward to next time.